Welcome to Cinema Through the Seasons podcast, where we talk about movies about the that relate to the corresponding seasons and the approaching holidays. So we're coming towards Thanksgiving now. We're pretty close. We're like halfway through November, pretty much,
Yeah.
almost. So yeah, like I said last week, it's been super hard trying to find movies to do for this month. Last week we did an actual Thanksgiving movie, but this week I just leaned more towards like a fall vibe. So this week we're doing Knives Out from 2019, directed by Ryan Johnson. I love this movie. I think it's so good.
I love it too. I remember the first time watching it, like where I
Yes,
was
I
and
remember
all
my
that.
first time watching this. I watched it with my mom and my grandma and my sister, and it was so good. And I remember all the twists and like everything. This is yeah, I feel like this is like one of those movies where like you really remember the first time you watched it.
Yes.
Um, but anyway, yeah, it's a whodunit, mystery thriller film that's about the death of a um uh like a famous mystery writer who is thought to have committed suicide, but there's a detective played by Daniel Craig who thinks that there's more to his death, so he's investigating his death.
How do you pronounce the name? Benat Block?
Benoit Blanc.
Benoit Blanc. Okay.
Yes, Daniel
Okay.
Craig's character, Benoit Blanc, who has a horrible Southern accent.
Yo, his accent really is crazy.
It's like so insane.
It's just very crazy.
Yeah, you could tell. You could tell. I feel like everyone had a lot of fun doing this movie,
They probably did though.
especially Daniel Craig being able to do this accent because he's British. So I mean, I guess you can't expect a British person to do a convincing Southern accent. So like, why not lean into it?
I'm trying to remember. Like, I know I've seen a James Bond movie, but did he have an accent in James Bond?
Well, he's British in James Bond, so I imagine he uses his own accent. I don't think he puts one on for James Bond. James Bond is already British.
He sound normal to me though. Like I can't remember the voice at all.
I don't think I've seen one of his James Bond. I don't think I've seen any James Bond movies actually.
Not a big James Bond fan either. I just watched the one movie, then afterwards I never watched it again.
Yeah, I'm not huge into James Bond. But Anna de Armas, who also stars in this, she was a Bond girl in one of Daniel Craig's James Bond movies. I think it was not long after they did this. She was in No Time to Die. Maybe,
Mhm.
I think. I think it was that one. Yeah, and then she also she's been in a few movies with Chris Evans, who's also in this. There's this movie has a very star-studded cast.
Yes.
There are a lot of like heavy hitters in this movie, which definitely lends to how good it is. The fact that the performances are so great. Yeah, but Anna de Armas and Chris Evans have done like I think like 3 movies together at this point.
Yo,
But
how do you pronounce your name? Anna de Armas.
I believe so. She's
Drop dead
Cuban.
gorgeous.
She
Drop dead
yes,
gorgeous.
beautiful,
Oh
beautiful
my
woman.
god.
Beautiful woman. Yes.
Drop dead gorgeous. Just like Gal Gadot.
Gal Gadot?
Gal Gadot.
No.
Yes, she is. Oh my god. Yo, my first time watching Wonder Woman, we went to the theater and my friend Isaac was just staring at me. He's like, "Are you okay, Corey?" I'm like, "Yo, she's just so beautiful." Oh my god. Gal Gadot is very beautiful.
Gadot.
That's how you say it?
Yes.
Good go?
Gadot.
Good though?
Yes, there's only one G in her name.
Gal Get. I don't know.
Oh,
Listen, whoever that lady is, Wonder Woman, y'all know who I'm talking about. She is
yes.
very pretty.
Hmm. Yeah. Anyway, this movie, it was inspired by like Agatha Christie mysteries. Have you ever seen or heard of any Agatha Christie movies?
First time hearing anything about this.
Really?
Very much so.
Well, you've heard of Murder on the Orient Express, right?
Yeah, I've seen that.
That's an Agatha Christie novel.
See, I don't read the books.
And Death on the Nile.
I've seen that too.
Yeah, those are both based off
Okay.
Agatha Christie
I like
novels.
those movies though too.
Yeah.
They're just like this.
Yeah,
Like
that's
they
what I
came
said.
out around the same time too.
This movie was very heavily inspired by at her novels and Alfred Hitchcock movies as well.
Mm.
So it's like Agatha Christie like type story, but then like Alfred Hitchcock type plot devices.
Who done it? Dun, dun,
Yeah.
dun.
Um yeah, but this one has a lot of twists. I think it definitely because it's supposed to be like a modern whodunit. So like you can definitely see that and has a lot of twists and turns more than like a one of the more classic ones, I feel like. Like, usually, I feel like with the more classic whodunit, it's just like the murder happens and then it's kind of not stagnant, but like it really only really leads to the reveal at the end. And then this movie kind of subverts that, and the structure of it is very, very unique, which I enjoy.
Oh yes, I love the whole storyline,
Mhm.
plot, everything.
Anyway, yeah. Anyway, yeah, let's get into it. So, like I said, this movie is it starts with Harlan Thrombey, who's played by Christopher Plummer, who's Georg von Trapp from The Sound of Music. Have you haven't seen The Sound of Dang it.
I'm at a blank. I'm at a
Damn
blank.
it. I love The Sound of Music. It's one of my favorite movies ever. Anyway, I was excited to learn that fact.
This right
But
here.
yes.
Okay.
Yes, The Hills Are Alive with
The Heels Are Alive. That's
with
the name of the song or something.
yes, that's the
Okay.
first song, the main song, The Hills Are Alive with The Sound of Music.
Okay.
Anyway, yeah. So Harlan Thrombey, he's a very famous mystery novelist. He's like a very successful novelist, and so he's made a lot of money off of his books. He's like very rich, and so his family is very entitled and like supremacist, which one thing I thought of when I was watching this, because they make it a point to say how he does not allow adaptations of his books. So it's like, how did he get so rich if it's just off of print alone?
Just had to be off the novels. How many books did they ever say how many books he made?
I don't think so.
No.
They said at some point he did like 2 books a year, at least at this point in his life. He did 2 books a year. So I imagine maybe if he was younger, he did even more than that. He probably has like, they said that he printed like millions of copies in like 30 languages. So like I said, he's very, very successful.
That's why he's rich. Then 30
But
different languages.
and then later on in the movie, they say he's in like assets. He's worth like 60 million. It's like all of that just from print alone. Like Stephen King, for example, he has a lot of books, but he also has a lot of adaptations.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like I would imagine I kind of equate Harlan Thrombey to Stephen King in my mind, just as like a modern equivalent of like who he'd be like.
Mm-hmm.
But even like I said with Stephen King, he does like adaptations. I imagine he's also like super loaded.
Probably over 100 million.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I mean, this guy doesn't allow adaptations. He only does print. But anyway, it's on the morning after his birthday. He's like 80 something. His housekeeper finds him in his house with his throat slit. And then the like police and everything investigated, and they decide that he has died by suicide, that he slit his own throat. And they said later that the way he like sliced through his carotid, and like the way the blood splattered, like they're like, there's no way someone else could have slit his throat. He had to have done it to himself. But they said the private detective Benoit Blanc has been hired to investigate the death, but he doesn't know who hired him. He says like someone just left an envelope of cash at his doorstep for him to investigate this murder. So he doesn't think that it's a suicide, obviously, if someone has hired him, but he doesn't. So yeah, they're trying to figure out how he actually died, if it not by suicide. So we learn a lot about his family and how he has 3 children, one of which has already been deceased prior to this movie. So his daughter-in-law his late son's wife is also included in the family. And they all have like weird, strained relationships. Which means that many of them have a possible motive for his murder, but they say later none of which are like that like strong enough to really make them want to kill him that way. But yeah, so like I said, this movie has very good actors and they're on an ensemble cast. So we have, let's see, let's open the IMDb. We have Chris Evans, who plays Ransom, who is Harlan, I forgot his name, Harlan's grandson. Jamie Lee Curtis, who plays his oldest daughter, Linda. Michael Shannon, who plays his youngest son, Walt. And then there's Don Johnson, who I'm not really familiar with, but he plays Linda's husband. And then Walt is also married to Ricky Lindholm, who I've seen before. I'm not super, super familiar with her, but she's usually a comedian. But I think she does a good job. She's more of a background character rather than part of the main ensemble. And then we also have Toni Collette, who plays the daughter-in-law, like I said, and then Catherine Langford, who plays her daughter. And then Michael Shannon also has a son, Jacob, who is also more of a background character. Yeah, so for the motives, Richard Drysdale, who is Harlan's son-in-law, he's caught by Harlan having an affair behind Jamie Lee Curtis's back. So Harlan threatens to tell Jamie Lee Curtis, and he's like, if you won't tell her, I'm gonna tell her. And so they have like an argument, and like apparently they had an argument before the birthday party the day before. So apparently some of the like catering people heard them like yelling at each other. And then Michael Shannon, who plays Walt, the youngest son, he runs the publishing house that I guess the family owns that publishes Harlan's books. And during the birthday party, Harlan fires him and he basically cuts him loose and he says like, oh, I should have let you have the chance to create something of your own instead of like basing your whole life on my work. And he's like, he really, really words it as if he's doing him a favor by firing him. Like he's like this will be good for you. He's just like weirdly condescending during this conversation. And then Toni Collette, the daughter-in-law, she, like I said, her husband has passed away. So it's just her and her daughter. And she owns like this sort of like wellness company. Like she that sells, I guess, like supplements or skincare or whatever. Mm-hmm. But Harlan pays for Catherine Langford, the granddaughter, to go to college. And Kathleen, during her interrogation or interview or whatever, Catherine Langford says that her grandfather gives her mom an allowance and pays for her school. And then when they are talking to Toni Collette, all she mentions is how he's paying for the school. So then Benoit Blanc is like, oh, he must have been paying Toni Collette and the school without knowing it, which is true. It turns out Toni Collette had been like scamming him or lying to him or whatever. And he basically had him paying for the tuition twice, but she was pocketing it. So he finds out that she's apparently been stealing $100,000 from him a year for like several years, or at least for as long as her daughter's been in school. So he cuts her off, like fully cuts her off. He's like, I'm not even paying for the college anymore. Like, you're done.
Yeah. That is a lot of money. You know how rich you have to be.
That's what I'm saying. He did not. He had no idea that this woman was stealing $100,000 from him every year
for the past 7 years. I would have cut her off too.
Yes, I'd be pissed too. And it's like at that point, did she even have to lie? Like he obviously seemed very generous with his family.
He was.
Did she have to lie like that? Like, couldn't she be like, can you just like give me a little something even though you're already paying for her college?
I think he would have done it.
Probably.
Like, he supports basically the whole family. Yes. But the day he turned 85, he decided to just blow everything up.
Clean house.
Yo, everything. And then it's just amazing. Like everybody really did have a motive to kill him. Mm-hmm. Which is just like when you're watching the movie, you're just like, dang, who really did kill this man? Mm-hmm. the whole time. But yeah,
Yeah.
100,000 every year, that's a lot of
Every
money.
it's a
You know how
lot.
rich you
And
have to
he,
be
yeah,
to
like I said,
not hurt at all.
and it wasn't even him, and it was his accountant. After a couple of years, he was like, "Oh wait, you're missing $100,000. Oopsies." I'd be mad at the account too, because how did you not realize that at first?
I will be mad at myself too. Why don't I know this? Like, I'm not checking my bank account every day,
No,
every month.
I mean you don't have to if you're that rich.
No, you still should. You still should.
You should, obviously. Obviously, you should. Yeah. So yeah, most of the family has motives for murder, but Lakeith Stanfield, who plays another cop who's helping Benoit Blanc in the investigation, he's like, I don't think any of these are like that strong to murder someone. So then we have this after we have all the interviews and we meet everyone's family and stuff, we have like a little flashback to the birthday where, oh, sorry, I forgot. Anna de Armas, like we said earlier, plays Harlan's nurse. The two of them are like very close, like friends. So yeah, she has an interview where Benoit Blanc is like able to deduce that like she knows everyone's business. Like Harlan tells her everything that's going on, so she knows what's going on with everyone. She knows about the affair and the money and everything. And this is where we also learn that her character has a tell when she lies. Whenever she lies, she pukes, like makes her vomit.
Oh
Like
my
she cannot
God.
control it. So like during this, when Daniel Craig is asking her about the family and if like he's asking her like, is Richard having an affair? Did Walt get fired and everything like that? She tries to lie and say that she doesn't know, and she pukes. So yeah, it's like, but I've never heard of that.
Yo, I've never heard of it either, but it's crazy because he knew that she puked every time she lied. That's why he asked her those questions.
Mm-hmm.
But
I think he said he thought it was like a figure of speech or something. He did not expect her to literally throw up right there, but she did.
Throw up, like, but yeah, your tail could be puking when you lie.
Yeah,
like not
like
like
Pinocchio, but
scratching
like
your nose.
so much worse.
Yeah. That's probably the worst too. Your nose grows when you lie, or you puke when you lie. Which one would you rather have though?
I don't want to puke all the time.
So you rather your nose grow?
I don't know though, because I feel like that's more obvious.
I would probably say puke.
But I don't know. I feel like the nose growing would just be like uncomfortable.
Very much so, because it looks like it hurts Pinocchio.
Yeah.
Puking though, that's normal. I guess you throw up when your stomach hurts. Every once in a while though, you can lose weight.
I can't remember the last time I puked.
For real?
No.
For me, it was on Halloween.
Yeah. So during Marta, Anna de Armas's character is named Marta. She's an immigrant, or at least her mother at least is an immigrant, but we never actually learn where her family's from because no one in the Thromby family knows where she's from.
Terrible.
Yeah. But we have a little flashback back to the night of the birthday party. Where we see after the party is done, Marta and Harlan go upstairs to, I don't know if it's like a study or his office. It's not his office, some room upstairs because they live in a giant mansion. Yeah. The movie was filmed in like a 20-room historical mansion in Boston. Yeah, but they go upstairs and they're like playing a game of Go. And this is where Harlan tells Marta that like he cleaned house, he like cut all of them loose, and he does like this whole monologue, which I don't really remember, but he says something about how sometimes you get to a point where you can't tell a fake knife from a real one. This guy also has a bunch of knives lying around his house, which is interesting.
In a circle.
Yeah, there's like one room downstairs where there's like a big chair, like almost like a Game of Thrones chair, with like a bunch of knives around it. Yeah. But Marta's like I said, Marta's his nurse, so she's giving him his medication for the night. And while she's doing that, she realizes that she mixed up the medications. So she's supposed to give him some type of medication and then morphine, and she's supposed to give him like 100 milligrams of one and then like only 3 of the morphine, but she mixes them up. So she accidentally gives him a lethal dose of morphine. So she's like freaking out, obviously. So, and she tries to call an ambulance, but Harlan's able to deduce, like, because they live in like a rural like area, there's like not much around their house. So he's like, an ambulance it's gonna take way too long. Like, I'm gonna be dead by the time they get here, and they're gonna know that it's your fault that I'm dead. Like, you're gonna get arrested. And like I said, they're really close, and he does not want her to go to jail. He doesn't want her to get arrested. So as he's a mystery novelist, he knows a lot about murder. So he instead comes up with a plan on the fly to help her get away with his murder so that she doesn't go to jail. So he makes her do all this stuff. She like has to pretend to leave and like make sure that Walt sees that she leaves. And then she has to go back to the house and like sneak in and like climb up a trellis and like sneak into the house through like a fake window. And she has to put on Harlan's clothes and like walk around the house as if it's him. So then Walt also sees Marta dressed up as him. So he thinks it's the dad. So he thinks that he sees the dad alive. So she has to do all this stuff to kind of to cover up for herself. And she's like, I don't want to do this. Like, can you just let me call the ambulance, please? Like, I can't do this. And he's like, no, like, you can't get caught, because if you get caught, like, your mom's going to get deported. Like, your life's going to be ruined. I don't want that to happen to you. So when she's about to go, she tries like one last time to call an ambulance, and that's when he slits his throat in front of her. Which he did not have to do that in front of her.
Yeah, but she was about to go to jail. He really wanted to protect Marta.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, he did just draw and just slice his throat.
Mm-hmm. No hesitation.
He really loved Marta. Like, that was a good friend.
Yeah, they were really close. They were cute together. I liked their scenes together.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she does all this, and then when she's talking to Blanc and the cops, she tells like a shortened version of the truth, so it's technically not a lie, so she doesn't puke right away. She still pukes, but she's able to hold it in for a little bit. Yeah, so later on they have like a memorial for Harlan. It's like at this point the funeral's already passed. It's been like a week after Harlan's died. So like I said, the investigation and everything has been ongoing, and it's been like a few days since the funeral, and a bunch of people say that, I think it's Walt and Linda both say that they wanted to invite Marta to the funeral, but they were outvoted or whatever. So obviously they were lying. And it's like a big thing in this movie how the family treats Marta. This movie has a lot of themes about like class warfare and like wealth inequality and like race and things like that. Because like I said, Marta is an immigrant. Her and her family are, I imagine, from somewhere in South America. But they never say where they're from. But they see your family like speaking Spanish and stuff. So in this memorial, they have like a really weird conversation about immigration, where it's like very obvious that Richard, Linda's husband, is racist. He's racist. Walt's wife is racist. Walt's son is racist. They're all just not great. And they try to like rope Marta into their conversation about immigration. And they say how Marta's family did it the right way, which, like I said, they didn't, because Martha's mother is undocumented and she could be deported. Mm-hmm. But yeah. And it's like just really, really gross. And then they say Toni Collette's character is, I don't think she's not racist, but she's more liberal leaning.
Seems like a airhead, happy-go-lucky person.
That too. She's definitely still ignorant, just as ignorant as them, but she's like one of those like white, like California liberals.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's how I would say.
Yeah. And they're obviously talking about Donald Trump at the beginning of this conversation, because this movie was filmed in 2019, so it was during the first Trump administration. So at the beginning of they don't say his names explicitly, but like you can tell if you're paying attention, they're talking about Donald Trump. And then Tony Collette makes a point about how they're like having kids in cages and like separating families and things. And they're talking about like, oh, if you're an immigrant, you should do it the right way. And Tony Collette's like, well, it's like, well, obviously that only applies to brown people, yes. And then obviously, and then Walt's wife tries to be like, no, if it's for Europeans, it would be the same thing, which is not true. It's not true. In my opinion, I don't think that would be true. Yeah, but they're just really, really condescending towards Marta, and like they call her kiddo a couple of times.
They're rich.
Yeah, they're like really obviously like these rich white supremacists.
Yes.
Like
very privileged.
Yes.
Like, dad is rich. They grew up all rich, married into money. The husband and the wife, snobs.
Yeah.
Especially, did we even talk about Chris Evans' character?
He hasn't showed up yet.
Oh yeah, see, he doesn't even come to the funeral at all for his grandfather.
He's not at the funeral. He's not at the memorial.
First time we see him, the will reading.
Yep. Yeah. But after the memorial, Blanc asks Marta to help him with the investigation. Like he decides that he can trust her, because that's another thing with the parallels between Marta and the family is that because everyone in the family is so terrible, it really exaggerates Marta's like goodness and like humanity. It's like another large theme of this movie is that Marta is inherently moral. Like she is a good person. She accidentally did a bad thing. And obviously she doesn't want to go to jail for that, but now she's being very overly scrutinized in this situation, especially because now Blanc wants her to help him with the investigation. So now she has to do even more to cover up for herself. So yeah, they like go around the manor looking for clues and everything, and she's trying to like sabotage their investigation. Basically, like there's a tape of her leaving the house at like not the right time, or I didn't really understand this part, because when Harlan was telling her what to do, I think he said to like leave after the carved elephant or something. But I guess she didn't do that. So whatever she did wrong was caught on the tape, which would incriminate her somehow. So she like messes up the tape. So they can't.
I think the camera would see her, but if she drove a little further down the road, the camera wouldn't see her or something.
Something like that.
But yeah, she messed up her footprints too in the mud when she was going outside.
Yeah, but she covered that. So she like messed up the footprints, so like they couldn't really use them anyway. But then she like tracked mud into the hallway when she climbed up the trellis, and she broke off a piece of the trellis that Blanc finds later. She found like the broken piece. Yeah. So like she's not like a criminal mastermind. I said this a little bit in Psycho too. It was like a normal person who like does a bad thing and now they're trying to like cover up for it. Like she's not a criminal mastermind. She is like a normal person, and she's a good person, like I said. So it's like when she is trying to cover up for herself, it's like I feel like I for one was rooting for her. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't want her to go to jail.
I was rooting for her too.
Yeah, like you don't want her to go to jail, even though she did accidentally do this bad thing. But also because it was an accident, it was not intentional at all. She obviously didn't want to kill him. Like I said, like he was her friend. Like they loved each other. So yeah, that's all happening, and then we get to the will reading. The will reading, I think, is my favorite scene of this movie. Yes, I love the scene before the reading. He said this is when Chris Evans finally shows up, which he is also part of the ensemble cast. He is one of the main characters, but he doesn't show up. It's probably maybe like 40, maybe like 30 to 50 minutes into this movie where he finally shows up.
The will reading.
Yeah, he shows up to the will reading, and because his family is so dysfunctional, everyone starts fighting again. And we get like Chris Evans' character has been like kind of referenced throughout the movie. Like people have like been talking about him, and then he's seen like a little bit in the birthday party scene because he leaves the party early after him and Harlan have a fight. They have a very like loud fight, like everyone can hear them yelling at each other, and then Chris Evans like storms out. But this is the first time we actually like see him when he shows to the real reading. And yeah, Waltz brings up how he was not at the funeral of the memorial or anything, but he's early for the will reading.
Of course he will be, you know?
Mhm, mhm.
Money.
Yep. And they have this like huge fight where Walt's son says that he heard some of Ransom and Harlan's fight where they were talking about the will. So the family deduces that Harlan cut Ransom out of the will, where everyone Walt is like very pleased by this. He does not like Ransom. He's like very pleased by it. And he's like, you know, none of like you finally got what you deserve. Like after everything you've done the past few years, it's obviously they make it clear that Ransom was like the problem child in the family. He's the black sheep. So he's like, you know, after all you've done, like no one's gonna help you. None of us are gonna support you. And his parents are like, you know, maybe this is like what you need. Like this would be the best thing that's ever happened to you. Now that you won't have any money to support you, like maybe you'll make some changes to your life. And Ransom does not absorb any of this at all.
He's
Like
just sitting down
yeah, it's like
and
he's very
just
smug. He like curses everyone out, and
yes.
everyone starts screaming at each other. Yeah. So then we get to, and I think this is one of the only scenes where everyone is together. Like all of the important characters are together in one room.
Yeah, that's the first time in the
Mhm.
movie.
So then we get to the will reading, and everyone's obviously very excited to find out what they've been inherited. Linda and her husband want, I believe they want the house. I think, yeah, I believe they want the house. And then Walt and his wife obviously want ownership of the publishing company since that's where Walt has been working all these years. And then, like I said, he also had like $60 million in all of his assets and stuff. But we find out another twist that Marta has been left everything. He didn't leave anything to his actual family, nothing to his kids, nothing to his grandkids. He leaves everything, the house, the money, the publishing company.
Ah.
He leaves it all to Marta. And no one knew that this was happening, especially not Marta. He didn't tell anyone. He just changed his will in secret. So everyone starts yelling again. Like I said, this scene is one of my favorites. Jamie Lee Curtis, in particular, is very angry. The way she starts screaming at everyone. Walt is also very, like, everyone's super pissed. Walt's son, calls her a dirty anchor baby. So he said racist. Everyone
Yeah.
in this movie is racist. Jamie Lee Curtis accuses her of, quote, boinking her father.
Yo, yeah, like everybody was not happy about this will reading at all. All
No.
these rich, spoiled kids finding out that they're left nothing by their wealthy father, and it
Mhm.
all goes to the maid. I know they say how long she's been working there, but I forget at this time right now. But
Probably like over a year, maybe.
okay, so yeah, over a year, and then they start hitting her with the, you know, we've taken you in, we treated you like family. They just was talking
Yeah, I
about her
think
the other
Tony
day
Collette says
though.
she's like family, but she's not our actual family.
Yeah.
Mind you, she married into this family.
So she's not even family
Like
at
you're
all.
also not related to these people.
The will reading, but yeah, Ransom was just happy with the will reading.
Mm-hmm. He was, yeah, very after. I mean, yeah, after the way everything everyone just said to him, and now it turns out none of us are getting anything. Yeah, I'd be happy too.
I realized that was the only reason he was there now, like just to see everybody's faces right there in that moment.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. So then they all chase Marta out of the house to, I guess, try to convince her. Because now at this point, they obviously want to convince her to give everything back to them. So they all like chase her from the house. I like this scene too because the way it switches from a steady cam to handheld camera. So like you can see the like shakiness of the camera work because obviously Marta in this moment is like very anxious and like panicked. I really, really enjoy that detail.
I'm $60 million richer than I was like a couple seconds
Even
ago.
more than that. I said with the house and the publishing, even more than that. But she tries to drive away and like her car won't start. So then Ransom shows up and he like invites her into his car and they drive away together. So then later on, they're like at this restaurant together, and Ransom asked her like what the deal is, like why did he leave you all this stuff? Like what do you know about his death? Like all this stuff, and he basically tricks her into eating a bunch of food because he knows about the vomiting thing. because apparently they played a game of Mafia, which I'm sure ended well for her. So yeah, he like basically makes her tell her because he knows that if she lies, she'll puke. So she tells her everything that happened, including like I said, what happened after the party and basically how she's responsible for him dying. And he decides, instead of turning her in, because I think when the family is like trying to figure out how to get the money back, they learn about the Slayer rule, which is basically if the person who is bequeathed all of this inheritance, if they're held responsible for the person dying, they're not going to get any of it. So they realize that if Marta is like implicated in Harlan's death, it would revert back to his original will and they would get all of their inheritance. And Ransom knows this too. So Marta's like, why help me when you could just turn me in and you can just get everything? And he basically doesn't want to help his family. Like he wants his cut, but he doesn't want his family to get theirs. So he's like, if I help you and you get the inheritance, you're going to give me my cut. And at this point, also, Catherine Langford calls her like on behalf of the family and she tries to get her to give them back the money. And Marta's basically like, I'm not going to do that, but I can help you with your stuff. Like, I can help you with your college and stuff.
Now that little phone call right there, that was a little crazy because as soon as she heard that, she just clicked. She just hung up on Marta.
She literally just hung up on her. Like, while she was mid-sentence, she just hung up on her.
That's all she wanted to hear, is that I'm taken care of. I'm okay. Again, spoiled, rich thing.
I don't think it was that. I think she was trying to get her to give the money back to everyone. And like
she didn't care about that when she heard that she was taken care of, though.
Like, well, because the whole family's like watching her on the phone with her. Yeah. So they obviously had her call her because Catherine Langford and Marta are like good friends too. Like they're also friends. So the family obviously try to get her to get Marta to give money back. And when it didn't work, she just like hung up on her. And then they also find out that what is Catherine Langford's character's name? Meg. When Meg isn't able to get her to give back the money, she tells the family about Marta's mom being undocumented. So then the next day, the press and like everyone hears about what happened at the will reading. So there's like a bunch of like lawyers and accountants, and there's like news channels outside of her house. Like it's really crazy. And she tries to go out the back door, and like Walt is just like at her door, like it's like waiting for her.
Very
like,
crazy and creepy.
It's so creepy. And he basically tries to intimidate her into giving the money back. And he threatens to, I guess, expose her mom's immigration status. And he's like, if you just give it back, like we'll help you like with our resources and with our lawyers, like we can help your mom so she can like have the right papers and like get a green card and stuff. And Marta's like, well, it's my resources and my lawyers now, so I can just do that myself.
I love her response.
Yes, like period. And she was right. Like she can just do it herself. Like you said, she's $60+ million richer. Like she can just do it herself. She doesn't need any of them anymore. So yeah, then she gets away from Walt and she's looking through her mail and she sees a blackmail letter from, it's like a picture of the tox report from Harlan's blood test from his autopsy. So obviously now she knows that there is someone who knows what she did. So she goes to Ransom and she's like, someone's blackmailing me. Like, I don't know what to do. And so they go to the medical examiner's office that would have the tox report. And they get there and someone burned it down. So there's only one copy of the tox report now. And Blanc, Benoit Blanc and Lakeith Stanfield are both there. And while they're there, Marta checks her email and she sees that whoever is blackmailing her sent her an email for like a meeting time. But before they like leave to go there, Benoit Blanc sees her. And so they do this like whole car chase thing and Marta's like beat up car that's only going like 60 miles an hour. So they eventually get caught and at this point they think that Ransom, I guess, killed Harlan. I forget why. Why did they think he killed him?
Uh, I forget. Oh, because the grandmom has seen the
Right.
grandma was looking out the window, and while
Right.
somebody was going up the stairs, while Marta was going up the stairs, Marta heard her say,
Ransom.
"Ransom, you're
Yeah.
back again."
Right. Yes.
But
Harlan's mother
she
is
can't see though.
also a character. Yeah. She's like a million years old. Cause like I said, Harlan was like in his 80s. So
Yeah.
like no one knows how old his mother is,
Yo,
but
right?
she's
He
there.
was 85.
Mm-hmm.
How old is
Mm-hmm.
she? And
I
her glasses are so thick. Like it's the thick
she's
ones.
a decrepit old lady, and she's like not totally like sentient during the whole movie, but there are when Marta is like going down the trellis to leave the house after the murder, the the grandmother sees her, but she thinks it's Ransom, and she says, "Ransom, are you back again?"
Mm-hmm.
So, and she, I guess, at some point tells Blanc what she saw, but it's but we don't see because like she doesn't really talk. Like those are like she has two lines in this movie. Um, so we don't see her tell Blanc this, but I guess she told Blanc, and so Blanc's like, "Oh, Ransom was there the night of the murder." So they arrest Ransom, and Marta and Blanc drive together to the police department. But on the way, Marta stops to meet the blackmailer. And then when we get there, we find out it's the housekeeper that found Harlan's body at the beginning of the movie. She's at the meeting place and she has Marta's medical bag because the bag was also stolen from Harlan's house, and it's the bag that had his medicines in it and stuff. So she finds her with the medical bag and like a destroyed copy of the tox report, like someone burned it. But the housekeeper Fran like can't tell her anything because she's been overdosed on morphine. So and there's like a moment where Marta's like debating whether she should help her or like leave her, and she decides to help her because like I said, it's like a big thing in this movie. Like Marta's a very good person.
Good
So
heart right there.
mm-hmm,
Because if she was really innocent, she probably would have just let Fran die.
mm-hmm.
And whew, good
Yeah.
thing she saved her.
Yeah. So she I think she does like CPR on her and she calls an ambulance and
Mm-hmm.
stuff. So then at the hospital, we found out that Ransom ended up ratting out Marta anyway, and he tells the police like what she did, and then at this point Marta confesses as well because now she's like, oh, like people are getting hurt, like this is going way too far. So she confesses, and she also wants to confess to the Thrombies as well. She wants to tell them what she did, which Blanc is like, that's not a good idea. And she's like, no, but I have to. They like go to the house to like tell them what happened. And then when they're at the house, Marta finds the copy of the full tox report because with the black memo she got, it was only like the top half of the report. It wasn't the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
So she finds the full report that Fran hid.
Or she hides her drugs.
Yeah, she like hides weed in a clock somewhere in the house, and she put the tox report in the same place she hides her weed. So she finds it and gives it to Blanc, and then but when Blanc reads it, we don't see it. Like as the audience, we don't see what it says, but we see Blanc read it, and after he reads it, he stops Marta from telling the family what she did, and he tells them on her behalf that she's gonna keep the inheritance, and
Yeah.
he chews them out for being like greedy and for being bad people, and how like after their father has died, they're most focused on their inheritance, and like how he like compares them to vultures like descending on a corpse. And he says the name of the movie, not Knives Out, Beaks Bloody, which apparently the title was based off of a Radiohead song.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never heard it,
I don't even
but
know who Radiohead is.
you don't know who Radiohead
The
is?
name sounds so familiar though.
We don't know who Radiohead is?
The
Wait,
name sounds so familiar. Give
the
me a
English
song.
band from the
Give me a
90s?
song.
I just did Exit Music for a Film, Paranoid Android, Karma Police.
They made Creep.
Yes,
That's
Creep.
my thing. I learned that song in what's that, Guitar Hero or Rock Band. That's my
Yeah,
okay. So I know them.
they did OK Computer album. I just performed that with the school's ensemble here.
You sing?
No, I didn't sing. It's an ensemble, so it's like a
Okay.
band. So I played the
Okay.
flute.
Okay.
Yeah. You've never heard of? I'm not super familiar with Radiohead, but I've heard of
I gave
Radiohead.
you the song, The Creep. Well, Creep, that's my song. That's actually in my playlist.
Mhm.
In my album A. When I play 2K, I let it play.
Yeah. Um. So yeah, at this point, Blanc has sort of like almost pieced together what happened. So he takes like Marta and the cops in a different room, and he has Ransom brought into the room. And at this point, he accuses Ransom of killing Harlan. And this whole ending is very confusing, at least on the
I like
first
the
watch.
ending.
I mean, I like it. I
I
just
like
mean
the
in terms of
ending.
like piecing everything together and like the sequence of events. I
Mhm.
feel like it's very confusing. But okay, I'll try my best. So on the night of the birthday party, Harlan tells Ransom that he is going to cut everyone out of his will. Because at some point during their conversation, Ransom mentions to Marta that they were talking about her during their conversation and about how Marta beats Harlan at Go more than Ransom does. And then when Blanc hears that they were talking about Marta during their conversation, he's like, "Why were they talking about her? That's weird." And it's because Harlan told Ransom that Marta was going to be inheriting everything from him. And at this point, Chris Evans also calls her Brazilian, which she's not Brazilian, but it's like a running gag through the movie that they keep guessing she's from different countries. I think they say Brazil, Paraguay, and Uruguay. And no, like I said, no one knows where she's from. So it was like a running gag through the movie. But yeah, he tells Ransom that he's not going to be getting anything from the inheritance. And then that's why he storms out of the party. And while he's leaving, he says that he came across this like clarity and he's like, "Oh, I have to like provide for myself from now on." But instead of like getting a job or like doing something, he's like, "I'm going to do that by murdering my grandfather." So he goes back to the party and he switches this is the part that's confusing to me. He switches the medications in on the bottles that they're in. So he takes the morphine and he puts it in the bottle of the other medication. He put the other medication in the morphine bottle.
I just switch the labels.
Hmm?
He just switches the labels.
No.
No, he
No,
really does do that.
yeah. Remember he had like
He
he took the
does make them.
syringe.
Yes.
Yeah, he took the syringe and he took the
Oh,
medications out of each
she's a
bottle
great nurse. She's a
and he
great
switched.
nurse.
Yeah. And so what was supposed to happen is she was supposed to take the bottle of the regular medication that had the morphine in it and she was supposed
Mm-hmm.
to give him the lethal dose of that. So then that would have overdosed him on morphine. So then when they did the tox report and they realized that, oh, this guy died of a morphine overdose, they obviously would have accused his nurse of overdosing him. And then that plus the fact that she would have inherited everything in the will, that would have implicated her in his murder and it would have reversed back to his original will and he would have gotten his inheritance. But that's not what happened because when Marta was giving him his inheritance, she took the morphine bottle and she gave him the correct dose of that, right? Am I right?
Nah.
Yes. She took
Mhm.
the bottle labeled morphine and she gave him the correct dose of that. But because she gave him 100 milliliters of that. But because, or milliliters, milligrams. But because it said morphine, she thought that she gave him 100 milligrams of the morphine when she didn't. She
Mhm.
gave him 100 milligrams, Jesus Christ, 100 milligrams of the regular medicine. Just because she, I guess, somehow just mentally just knew that it was the right medicine because they say that there's like the tiniest differences in each of the medicines. So like a regular person would not be able to like know the difference like
Yeah.
visually, but she somehow just knew. And so she switched them back by accident, but she didn't actually poison him. She gave him the right doses of the right medication. So if Harlan had just let her call the ambulance, he did not have to die. Like he could have lived, but because like she was panicking and he was panicking, it just happened very fast. And so he killed himself for no reason. which is so tragic. That's like so sad.
But nah, that's a bad predicament to be in, anyways, because you don't know. Like it says morphine, but she did grab the correct bottle.
Yeah, she switched them back and she gave him the medicine correctly. But yeah, she didn't have to die. He didn't have to die. But but obviously she has no idea that Ransom did all that. So then the reason why he missed the funeral is because he had to go back to the house when no one was there and switch the medications back to their original bottles. So at this point, he still thinks that even though like everyone knows Harlan slit his throat, he still thinks that he has the lethal dose of morphine in his system.
Mhm.
Like he doesn't know that she switched him back. So then later on, after the will reading, when she tells him what happened, he's able to figure out that she didn't poison him. So then when the tox report comes back, it'll come back clean and it won't say that he was poisoned with morphine. So he was like, oh, I have to, I guess, find some other way to implicate her in the murder. So he, at this point, he was the one who was actually being blackmailed because Fran saw him in the house during the funeral and he saw him like messing with the medicine bag. So then she is able to get a copy of the tox report through her cousin who works at the medical examiner's office. And she doesn't really know like what the report means, but I guess she figures that it would mean something to Ransom, which is kind of crazy to blackmail someone with information you don't even know.
She's just trying to get money. Yeah.
Apparently.
She's just trying to get money.
Yeah. So she blackmails him with the tox report. And like I guess he knows at this point that it won't say that he was poisoned. Like this is what I'm saying. The sequence of events in this point of the movie is like confuses me. But he goes to meet her when she has the tox report and he overdoses her with morphine. I guess that's just his go-to at this point. And he burns the copy of the tox report that she had, and he sends the blackmail note that he got. He sends that to Marta, so that's what she gets in her mailbox. And he's also the one who burned down the medical examiner's office so that there won't be any other proof of her innocence. That's how he overdoses Fran with the morphine because he then wants Marta to then be implicated in her murder as well as Harlan's. So then when he is arrested, he obviously wasn't planning on being arrested, but when he is, he just decides to like confess what Marta told him. So then obviously she'll be implicated even more. So it was like that close to almost going his way. If there wasn't an extra copy of the docs report, it would have gone his way. But obviously there is, and then that's what tips off Blanc to everything that happens, and then we find out what happens. So then at this point, Ransom is still like denying that that's what happened. Like he's like, I didn't do any of that. What? But then the hospital calls, and when Marta's on the phone with them, she tells everyone in the room that Fran has survived. So now everyone thinks that Fran is going to be able to like tell her side of the story and say that she saw Ransom doing all the suspicious stuff. And then
she survived. I thought she said that she died.
No, when she's on the phone at first, she says that Fran's alive.
Okay.
And that they're going to go get her statement. And then at this point, Ransom pretty much confesses, and he's like, he's saying how because he's rich, obviously he's gonna avoid charges. Yeah, he's gonna avoid all the charges because he didn't kill Fran, so it'd be like attempted murder and arson. Yeah, that's how he confesses. He says that sure he'll get like an attempted murder charge and like an arson charge, but like he won't really like serve that much time. And then he's gonna, once he like gets out from whatever he gets, he's gonna like go after Marta. This monologue he does is also very white supremacist. And he calls the house their ancestral home, even though it's not. And like Harlan bought it in the 80s. He's very elitist
Very
throughout this.
spoiled.
Yes.
He
I mean,
does.
obviously, like I said, the whole family is, and he
He might be the worst.
yes. I think
He's really
he might.
much
I
the
mean, obviously, he's
worst.
the only one who was willing to go to these lengths
Yeah.
to get his money. Um, so then after he basically confesses, Marta throws up on him. Like she pukes on his face and it's like chunky.
Ugh.
It's
Movie throw up is so nasty.
yes.
Movie
It's
throw up is so
really, really
nasty.
gross. It's like chunky and it lands all over his face,
Ugh.
which obviously means that she lied. It turns out she lied about Fran being alive. Fran actually died from the overdose. And he just confessed to her murder. And it turns out one of the cops was recording his confession, which is really insane. When she was on the phone with the hospital and the hospital told her that Fran was dead, and she was like, "Oh, that's great news, doctor. Thank you."
I mean, it was great news. As, like, she played it very well. She held up the throw up. Like,
she held it down.
Yes, she did hold it down. Blanc was very surprised when she threw up. Like
Everyone was.
Yeah, like, oh, but now you didn't even mention how he grabbed the knife and tried to kill her.
I didn't get there.
Oh,
I was right there. Yeah, it turns out they reveal Fran is dead and Ransom just confessed to her murder. So he takes, like I said, there's a chair in this room with a bunch of knives on it, like a throne of knives, basically. So Ransom grabs one of the knives off of the chair, and he lunges at Marta and he tries to stab her. And it's this really, really great slow motion shot of Ransom coming at her with the knife and everyone reacting, and like Blanc and Lakeith Stanfield like trying to like run towards them as he's about to stab her. It's really good. And he like tackles her to the ground, and when they like land on the ground, he realizes it's a fake knife. It's like a retractable blade.
It's a prop.
Yeah, it's a prop knife. So he didn't actually kill her. And then also all these cops just watched him try to murder her. So not only does he have 2 murder charges, but they also just watched him try to commit attempted murder as well.
He could say that he knew it was fake this whole time, you know?
They were just messing with her, you guys. Yeah. So then, yeah, that's the reveal. And then towards the end, at the end of the movie, Blanc says that he knew Marta had something to do with it because when they first met, he saw the tiniest, most minuscule drop of blood on her shoe. I don't know how he saw that.
A great detective.
Yeah, that's true. I guess that's his job.
A great detective. He knew that she was. Yeah, that was crazy though. That he said that at the end of the movie. Then she looks down at her shoes and she sees the blood.
Ooh. Which even at the beginning when he cuts his throat, she's like on the other side of the room though. The blood went that far that it landed on her shoe.
Yeah, because what he cut his throat like this, and just blood just flies.
Yeah, but he said that he wasn't ever convinced that she actually did it because of how ethical that she is, and how the reason why she was able to like obstruct all of like Ransom's all the stuff he was doing is also because of how good she is. I mean, like I said, it's like a very big emphasis on like she has a good heart, and like she was a good nurse and like a good friend to Harlan because she had a good heart, and Harlan had never really had anyone like that in his life because his family was terrible. So then Ransom is getting arrested, and like everyone in the family is like watching him get arrested, and Linda also finds out that her husband's cheating on her. Like Harlan leaves her a note with like heat activated ink. Because like the husband finds the note earlier, like he finds the note that Harlan said he was going to give to Linda, and he opens it and the note's blank. So he was like, oh, this is stupid. Like he was just bluffing. He wasn't going to tell her. But then Linda, because she mentions early in the movie, like you had to find like a game to play with him, and like that's how you can be close to him. So she knew, like when she found the note, she like knew like it was the heat activated ink, like they had done that before. So she puts like a lighter under it, and she reads that her dad caught Richard cheating on her. Yeah, and then the very last shot, which I also love, is as like the police are like taking Ransom away and like everyone in the family is like outside and they like look up and Marta's like standing on the balcony and she's like drinking out of a mug that says like my house, my coffee, my rules. And like you can see the when she like takes a drink out of the mug, all you can see is the my house part on the mug. It's so good.
Everybody like she's standing over everybody and they're
Yep,
just
they're
looking
standing
up
on the
at her.
ground and she's standing like very
Yeah.
high over them on the balcony. hmm So obviously it implies that Martha takes the inheritance,
Hmm.
which I love. Love that for her.
Very much so. They don't deserve the money acting
No.
like this at all.
I mean, honestly, Linda, for one, doesn't really need it because they say in the movie she has her own like real estate business
Hmm.
that she started with like she got like $1 million loan from her dad because she says throughout the movie like, oh, like I built my business from the ground up, but she actually just got like $1 million from her dad to start it. Um, yeah, it's like everyone in this family doesn't have anything without Harlan. Like none of them are like he's the only one that's self-made and all of them have had everything handed to them. Um yeah. And apparently Jamie Lee Curtis apparently like was able to empathize with this character because she's also a Nepo baby.
Yeah.
Which I didn't know until I was researching this, but her parents were like very famous actors in the like 40s and 50s. Her mom's Janet Leigh, who's Marion Crane in Psycho. Her mom was a star of Psycho.
Yeah.
Yes, which I had no idea about until I was reading her like Wikipedia page and I saw her mom was Janet Leigh and I'm like, I know that name. It's because she starred in one of my favorite movies, Psycho. Which is yeah, her parents were like really famous actors.
Wow.
Apparently, her and her mom actually made a few movies together. But yeah, she said she like related to like being defensive when like people bring up your privilege and stuff.
Oh, so she understands what that is all about right
Mm-hmm.
there.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Um, yeah, but like I said, I love this movie. It's so good. I feel like almost like every part of it is just so good. Even the smaller details, which obviously you need the smaller details when you're doing a movie like this. Like I feel like when I was rewatching it, I definitely noticed a few smaller details that I maybe haven't noticed before. Like when Harlan's talking to Marta after the party, he says, "I cut all four of them off."
Mm-hmm.
But when we see the flashbacks, we only see him talking to three people. Like we saw him talking to Waltz, Richard, and Tony Collette.
Mm-hmm.
But when he's talking to Marta, he says, "I cut all four of them off." So it's like, who's the fourth one?
We just
It
don't
was
see the
Ransom.
ransom.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was Ransom.
Then we do see it.
Mm-hmm.
Whew.
Yeah.
The only person who probably didn't have a motive was the son, not a Walt's son. I'm forgetting his name right now. And then
I mean,
the daughter. Walt's son just stayed on his phone the whole time.
pretty much.
Only on social media.
Like he only has like one or two scenes where he
Yeah.
really talks.
It's like he really had no motive at all unless he
Mhm.
took his dad's firing very strongly and took it to heart.
Yeah, I mean, just with his parents not getting any money from the inheritance and then also not having access to the publishing house anymore, they would still stand a lot to lose.
I don't think he cared about that.
I think he was
Jacob
all. I mean,
cared
like I said,
about
he
that.
was also elitist, just like the rest of his family, though.
Oh yeah.
So it's like without the money, I think he would. I don't think he would murder someone. Like I said, I
Not
don't
at
think
all.
anyone in this family would murder anyone like that. I think Ransom was the only one who was willing to go to those lengths.
Very much so.
But technically, they would all be pissed about not getting any of the money, which they were.
Yeah, but no, I don't remember a scene of him really being mad at anybody.
Yeah, after the will reading.
The son was mad.
Yeah, like I said, he called her a dirty anchor baby. He's the one who called her that.
I take it back. I take it back, Jacob.
Yes.
Jacob, I take it back.
Yes, sorry, Jacob. Yeah, and I guess the person with the least motive would probably be Meg, but even like I said,
She just wanted the money.
Yeah, even when she finds out that her mom can't pay for her college, she kind of has like a lapse in judgment.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, like I said, everyone in
Dang,
this
that's
family
crazy.
is terrible in varying ways. Um, other than Marta, of course. Yeah. Yeah. Final thoughts?
Great movie. You should watch it.
You should
You should
watch
watch
it.
Glass Onions too.
Glass, yes, there is a sequel to this, Glass Onion. It's a Netflix original. The casting, I prefer this first one though.
I do too.
Yeah, the
No, I
first
do
one's
too.
better, and they're coming out with a third one soon.
It comes out this month.
Oh yeah.
It comes out later this month. I don't know the day, but it comes out this month. I'm definitely going to see it on Tuesday, $5 movie day.
Mm.
Very
It's
much
in
so.
theaters? I thought it was just on Netflix.
No, it's coming out in theaters.
Oh.
At least that's what my friend sent me, and I picked the movie. That we can see this. We
Mm.
can definitely go see this.
Oh. But yeah, the sequel is good, but I definitely prefer this first one just in terms of all the twists and stuff. And also the cast. I prefer the cast in this first one. The cast in the second one is still good. It still has another ensemble cast with like a bunch of really famous people. But in general, I prefer this first one.
I like the first one too. I think I said that. The first one is better than the second one, but will it be better than the third one? We'll let
Probably.
you know.
Probably.
I don't even know the actors and the actresses in the third one
Me
yet, though.
neither.
Only Daniel Craig. I know he'll be back.
Yeah, he's the only recurring character.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like an anthology series in that way.
Okay.
Yeah. Anywho, I think that's our show. Tune in next week. It'll be our last episode before Thanksgiving.
Can't wait to eat macaroni and cheese.
Mm-hmm.